I don't know how I made it here, only by the grace of God. I don't know how I made it here, only
I
by.
had to bring my guy on, my guy Anthony Nolan, the man, the legend, the myth.
Long time coming, brother.
Yes,
Long time.
sir. Yes, sir, man. Met you through playing bass, bro. You know what I'm saying? Musician. So yeah, I had to bring you on and get your take, man. I know you a life insurance agent, you know what I'm saying? You got a team and all that. So I want to bring you on, talk some music, but also talk about insurance, the importance of it. And of course we're gonna target the music community, but it's for everybody, man. So tell me a little bit about yourself, what you got going on, and we'll go from there, bro.
Okay, cool. So, 29 years old, son of a pastor. My mom works for the city of Grand Prairie Water Department. The entire family, pretty much my entire family, is musically inclined. So, my dad grew up playing guitar. I have sisters that sing. I have a cousin that, I'm pretty sure you know him as well, Dez. He plays, keys and all that type of stuff. My brother is a well-known rapper, artist here in Dallas, Quentin Fox. And I mean, just from music though, it opened a lot of doors growing up because it gave me the opportunity to travel, that type of thing, go overseas and all this stuff. But one thing that my dad really did instill in me was entrepreneurship. I wish he talked about it a little bit more, but it was entrepreneurship. So fast forward what a couple years after high school, I'm in college and I end up on this gig with you, man. And I think it was, I don't even remember where the gig was, right?
Was it the Tony gig or who was it?
I don't know. I don't know. One of the guys that was trying to do life insurance at one point. I don't remember his name, but some gig or something like that. Tramal was on that gig too, and that was the first time I got to meet Tramal too.
Yeah.
Crazy. But from there, man, we started talking about life insurance and how we could possibly turn this into money and being an agent and all this stuff. And so I got involved in life insurance in the industry when I think I was a sophomore or junior in college. And, just a lot of kids, for me, a lot of kids will work, 9 to 5 or something like that. And I would make the same amount of money just selling one policy. So I just kind of put two and two together, like, dang, like this is what it's about.
Right.
So, fast forward a couple years more, I graduated from UTA with a marketing degree in 2017, and I've been been in the industry what 6 years, and I've been with our company, the company I'm with now, for about 2.5 years. So me and my fiance, we're brokers here in the company, and we absolutely love what we do. We have an organization within the company called Gold Mine Movement right here. We believe
Yes,
that.
sir.
Absolutely, absolutely. And our organization stands for, everybody's digging for the dirt in everybody. You look at media, you look at, the church these days as well. Everybody's looking for the dirt in everybody, but we dig for the gold, which is where Gold My Movement comes from. Yeah. So
Nice.
it's pretty
So
much.
real quick, as far as insurance, like I actually talked to you about insurance, right? It was funny, man, because I was in the industry and was doing the whole Primerica thing, and was recruiting and ran across you, bro. And I've always seen you as a sharp young man, bro. And I'm not too much older than you, but when I see somebody that's on the grind and they got that go get it, like I'm always for it. So man, it's just crazy to see, how I introduced you to the industry and then you just took off with it, man. So yeah, bro, I had to bring you on and talk about this. So tell me about the importance of life insurance.
Well, first of all, it's one of those things. If you look at biblical, if you look in the Bible, like I said, I'm the son of a pastor, but a lot of people go to church and don't even realize, like, it actually says in the Bible, like, you're supposed to leave an inheritance for your kids and your kids' kids. That's what a man is supposed to do. So that's number one. Number two, a lot of people, especially in our community, the black community, and it saddens me sometimes. We don't like the conversation of insurance because we automatically associate it with death. We don't like thinking about dying. I mean, I'm 29. I don't like thinking about passing away or anything like that. But over the last, I would say, what, 20 years, 30 years, life insurance has changed so much, and a lot of people aren't aware. So it's important, for the reason that I mentioned first. Number two, I would say, of course, it's important to protect your assets. A life insurance policy gives your beneficiaries a tax-free, whatever that amount that they're covered for, it pays out tax-free. The government doesn't touch it. The IRS, most of the times they can't touch that. So that's number two, protects your assets. And then number three, like, we're on this whole movement, and I'll get into this here in a second, but we're in this whole movement of, black business, right?
Hmm.
Supporting black business. I think that I read a study a couple weeks ago where it said pretty much that black people are the number one, as far as the rate that we start a business, we're number one. Okay, well, we're also we fail the most when it comes to business. Okay, and so business life insurance can protect your business as well if it's set up right. And then generational wealth. We're talking about black business as well, but generational wealth. You look at other races. If just think about it, if you were to pass away today, God forbid, if you were covered for $1 million, and let's say J3 has the next Apple idea or the next Amazon, he's the next Jeff Bezos or the next Elon Musk, but he needs funding to do that, right? What if his dad had left him, $1 million, $2 million? He has a head start. You know what I'm saying? And so I look at it from those three standpoints, man. Life insurance is very, very important. It's not just about passing away. It's about leaving a legacy. So I asked everybody, and I'm gonna tell you a crazy story here in a second. But I asked everybody, what type of legacy do you want to leave? So that's why life insurance is really, really important, especially now.
Right. And I know it's important to everybody, but specifically to musicians. Why is it important for musicians to have life insurance?
Okay. Well, think about it, man. How many musicians? 2020 was a crazy year. Okay, 2020 was a crazy year. But even before that, how many musicians do you know that passed away?
Man,
Okay,
a
let's skip
ton.
the last 5 years.
Man, it's been
Just
a lot, bro. It's so many I can't even name. It's been a lot of musicians that just pass away. And
you know,
hey, and then the next thing you see is a what online when they pass away.
there you go.
GoFundMe.
There you go. GoFundMe, and it's crazy. We'll talk about GoFundMe here in a second. But man, as far as the musician community, it's so important because it's not a conversation that we have often. And it's not just life insurance, it's finance altogether.
Yes,
It's
sir.
altogether. So, you know, um, we don't typically sit down with each other and talk about, maybe starting an IRA, or maybe starting an IUL or funding, getting into stocks. Everybody nowadays we're on this stock movement and Bitcoin and all this stuff, but you know, most people don't know what the hell is going on. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna take a little bit of my check. I'm gonna put $100 into this stock or whatever. It's gonna go up. Maybe it turns into $600. Like, you can't retire off of $600. So, it's just having that conversation. It's so important nowadays, especially for musicians, just because of the fact that we don't talk about it so much. There are a lot of us that are depressed. A lot of us don't eat right. You know what I'm saying? And so, I've even seen musicians where, they have a major injury. Let's say they're a keyboardist, they have a major injury, just like in, a sport, you have a major injury. A lot of those people end up depressed. You know what I'm saying? And all that stress on your body, you start not eating right or whatever, you're gaining all this weight. Yeah, you cold, you're a beast at what you do, but are you taking care of yourself? And then, from the depression, from the stress, it leads to a lot of times people end up passing away. Like, stress is a big deal. But just for that fact, man, we don't really talk about that in our communities. I don't even think churches talk about it a
No.
lot. churches don't even bring up life insurance enough. And they're oftentimes, not speaking from experience, they oftentimes are the ones that end up having to fund funerals, but we don't talk about life insurance inside of the church. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree. I agree 100%. So tell me the difference real quick. Tell me the difference between a term, and we're going to keep it basic, a term and a whole life.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch whole life, and I'm gonna just say permanent life insurance.
Cool.
It's gonna say permanent life insurance because most people think, I would say, 80% of people think that a whole life is all that there is out there. Whole life is just a form of permanent life insurance. There's universal life, there's index universal life, there's it's a whole bunch of them out there. There's variable universal life. All of that is permanent life insurance, and whole life is just a form of permanent life insurance. So I give you the difference between the term and then permanent. Term, is exactly what it means, right? You know what term is, right? But
Right,
you
right.
know, let's say you have a lady who's 30 years old. She wants a term policy for 30 years. That policy technically ends when she's 60. Okay, so 30 to 60, that's 30 years. If she passes away within that 30 years, that family will receive whatever she's covered for, tax free. And then if she lives, let's say she lives to see 61, she has two options. Okay, she has two options. Number one is she can renew it. Okay, in that case, the premium, let's say she was spending $30 a month for that entire 30 years, that premium is going to shoot through the roof most of the times. Okay, and you can get into some the technical side as far as, okay, well, I'm covered till 95, term until 85 and 95 and stuff like that.
Right.
No, it's the price is still going to go up. Okay, so that's term. And then also nowadays, a lot of the companies that I represent, they have what are called living benefits. If you become chronically, critically, terminally ill, the company allow you to spend a lot of times up to 80% of the life insurance policy while you're alive. So that's term. Permanent is a little bit different. And there are so many different types. It's kind of hard to explain because I would have to point out, okay, well, this is how IUL works. This is how a UL works. This is how GUL works. So, permanent. It lasts for your entire life. You have a lot of times you have a premium, and you have a cost of insurance, right? Cost of insurance. Some policies they have what is called cash value. Some policies are different to where cash value is really a focus. So let's say an IUL or something like that, or a whole life policy, and then you have maybe a GUL, guaranteed universal life, where the cash value is not really a focus. So it's really just for the death benefit and the living benefits. But if I could keep it in layman's terms, it lasts for your entire life. A lot of times you have a premium, and you pay that premium for the duration of your life. Some policies you can even pay off. Okay,
Right.
but yeah, that's really what permanent life insurance is.
Okay. So if somebody had to choose, somebody who don't know anything about life insurance, they're like, man, I just want to get covered, man. I want to make sure I leave something for my family. I'm 30 years old. I just want to get some life insurance. What would you recommend them to get?
Typically, when I sit down with somebody, we're going through an entire assessment. I don't just, if you're 30 years old, I don't just say, hey, you need $100,000. Here's why. Because think about it. If you have young kids, and let's say you make $100,000 a year, the idea is that you want to replace your income so your surviving spouse, your kids, they don't feel you being gone, financially. So if you make $100,000 a year, it doesn't really make sense to get $100,000 policy. You possibly need $1 million policy. So at least that the family is covered financially for the next 10 years. Okay. So typically, if you're 30 or something like that, it depends on your budget, right? So let's say you have a 30-year-old and he has, $50 to spare, right? We're going through his budget. At the end of the month, he has $50 to spare. I'm going to start him with the term policy. Okay. I'm going to start him with the term policy over the next, you know, uh, year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever. He may start making more money. He may get a promotion on his job where he's making more money. Then we could take the premium up, and then we could look at something else. But you're 30 years old, you got a budget of $50, $75. I'm starting you with the term. I'm going to max out as much as I possibly can in that term for 20 or 30 years. And if you have young kids, the kids are good. And, you know, if you pass away or anything like that, your spouse is good. And then on top of that, if you have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, aneurysm, anything like that, that you can use the policy while you're alive a lot of times.
Ooh, hey, you got the sauce, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. Well, if somebody want to contact you, because bro, you know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like you own it, you've been doing it for years. So if somebody wanted to get in contact with you and say, hey man, I want to get a policy, how could they contact you?
Absolutely. My phone number is 469-203-1714. Again, 469-203-1714. You can look me up on Facebook. It is Anthony Nolan Jr. That's all you got to type in. And then on Instagram, I am at the millennial, exactly how it's spelled, money guy. Again, at the millennial money guy. That's me on Instagram. And then shoot, if you want to pop in on me, my listen, I'm in my office right now, man. I'm in the office right now. So I work on Sundays, but if you want to pop in on me, just pop in. The address is 4425 West Airport Freeway, Suite 240, Irving, Texas 75062.
Let's go. Nice, man. Well, I gotta ask you this, bro. How did you make the transition from playing music? Because you still play music, but how did you transition from like saying, okay, I'm a musician to, man, I want to look into this insurance thing. Like, I know my dad was an entrepreneur. I know JB told me about it, but I want to keep this thing going and really make some out of it. How did that mindset change, flip?
The mindset, the mindset changed when it's crazy. So my I look up to my dad. Like I look up to my dad. Like that's my hero. Like I'm a fan of LeBron James and you know the Michael Jordans and the Tom Brady's and all this stuff. But my dad is my hero. And so one day I wanted to be able. Started thinking to myself, I want to be able. I want my family to look at me the way that they look at my dad currently. You know, they go to him for everything. You know, and I started thinking to myself, and I'm giving you more so, of course, the mindset, but I don't even know how to describe it, but just really what I was just looking for as far as you know, respecting, okay, when it comes to my family. Like I want to be that guy or the uncle or you know the husband where it's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, like everybody coming to my house. You know, I'm the man in the family. You know, my dad has organizations and stuff that I want to put money into. I want to, you know, fund and all that type of stuff. And a lot of times we get caught up in the fact of, let's say, charity. Okay. There's many different ways that you can be charitable. Okay. You can, you know, you can give your time, you can give advice, you can, you know, mentor, all that type of stuff. But for me, the number one way to do that is with finance, it's with money. Okay. And, you know, case in point, if I want to get my organization or case in point, if my dad wants to build a church, I don't want him to have to go get a loan from the bank. I want to be able to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? We take care of that. We good. Okay. Um, you know, just that and just, and I'll say it like this too. And I'm going to ask you. So do you know who your great granddad was? Great grandparents. So three grades.
Nope.
Great grandparents, two grades.
Vaguely.
Okay. So for me, and it's crazy. I trained my team on this yesterday. We started talking about Black History Month. So my last name is Nolan, Nolan. It's an Irish last name. Okay. So probably, you know, your family, where you come from, your ancestors, probably slaves, right? 90%.
Right.
Probably a slave. So same thing with mine. If you go to Google or if you go to YouTube, type in Nolan Plantation, there's still the structure, the actual establishment where they had slaves basically live there, come through and work. It's in Georgia. Okay, it still stands today. Like I can't make this up. If you go to Google or YouTube right now, type in Nolan Plantation, it's almost like a museum. So I imagine what my great grandparents went through. Were they getting killed? Were they getting beat? Were they getting, maybe they had ideas or dreams or something like that, and they couldn't, deliver it to the next generation. But here's the question now: if they didn't leave, ideas, inheritance, funding, land, all that type of stuff, if they didn't leave anything for the next generation, do you think it was because of circumstance or choice?
I think circumstance.
Circumstance, 100%, 100%. So if you look today, it's 2021. Kamala Harris, listen, I can't make this up. Where's my hat? Where's my hat? I'm an alpha. I'm an alpha. You're cute. So Kamala Harris, she's an AKA. Okay, she's the second or third most powerful person in the entire world. Okay, she's black. Barack Obama, he was the president. Okay, he served 2 terms. He's black. Okay, in 2021, if you don't leave an inheritance, an example, a better way of living, land, funding, resources, connections for your next generation, do you think it was because of choice or circumstance now?
Definitely choice.
It's definitely choice. So I have the choice. Everybody has the choice. Every musician, every ball player, it doesn't matter who you are. You have the choice because it's 2021. And so, that's the way I looked at it. Like, I want to be a millionaire. Okay. And if I just look at my surroundings, okay, you are a product of the 4 or 5 people that you hang around the most. And so if I'm hanging around, a lot of the musicians, and this is no, slight to them or anything like that, but I'm talking about what it was for me. If you're hanging around the musicians and it's okay, well, we going out, or, when I get my check, I'm about it, but CJ's behind you, but I know you're good. But, they buy the new J's, the latest, the greatest, so on and so forth, but you don't have a dime to stand on.
Right.
Like, I have to change up my surroundings. So now, my mentor, he's a 6-figure, earner in our company. We're constantly around millionaires and 6-figure earners in our company. I wanted to get into that circle, and that's the way I saw it. So, and financial services, if you look this up on Google, the number 1 industry to become a millionaire is not technology, it's not real estate, it's not any of that. Is financial services, and it's been like that for quite a while now. So that's how I looked at it. Not that I stopped playing music, because I still do. I still, do studio work. I'll take an occasional gig, but now it's become a choice. I can choose to do that if I want to. I don't have to do it anymore. Right? Case in point, for this, just for this week, me and my fiance, we're at like $4,000 for the week. For the week. You know what I'm saying? And it probably took maybe 2 or 3 hours to just do that work, a couple weeks ago, and now it's paying out now. But that's how I saw it, man. It was just a choice. Like, yo, I want to be this, I want to be that. How am I? What? I don't even know how to put it. Like, how do I set my family up the best way that I can? What's going to give me the greatest likelihood of becoming successful?
Right.
Where I saw it, bro. Like, hey,
Right.
I'm gonna go do this. Let's go.
Man, that's what's up, bro. And not a lot of us think like that. As musicians, we get locked into being a musician and being dope, but we don't think outside the box. So yeah, that's definitely kudos to you on that, bro. So if I said, man, I want to, get into insurance, because I'm also thinking about, you can be a musician like you are and do insurance, right? How would I start? How would I get into insurance?
Yeah. So, I mean, just have a conversation with me. Even if it's not with me or my team, like I could care less. If you fit with a company, somewhere else, um, I'm totally cool with it. But I would
Right.
just say, have a conversation with me. Like I just gave my number. You can call me, you can text me, shoot me, whatever. Any questions that you got, I'll answer them. I hope it's with us, but if not, then totally cool. But that would be the first step. You just have to have a conversation with somebody. Let me walk you through the process. What it takes to get started, and just take it from there.
Right. Now, the typical thing too is to get a license, obviously, right? So you do got to test, get a license, insurance license, and then go from there, work for a company, or they can come on board with you or do whatever, right? Cool. Man, bro, you didn't drop some gems on here today. you dropped a whole bunch of gems, man, and definitely grateful for you coming on, bro. We gonna keep this thing going, bro. Like I told you before, if anybody can do it, you can do it, man.